Hi, and welcome back to this course on ISM 415 Special Topics. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. Last week, we started a new topic in this course, which is conversational AI. We looked at what conversational AI is, a brief history of conversational AI. We looked at some of the shortcomings of previous conversational experience, why they failed over time. We looked at some of the technologies behind conversational AI and some of the tools that will enable us to create our own conversational experience. In this week's lecture, we are going to start building our conversational experience using Dialogflow. So we'll start off by seeing how we can build engaging conversational interface with Dialogflow. Then we proceed to seeing the life of a conversation so that we understand how our agent is able to start and finish a conversation with a user. Then, just like we did in data science and machine learning, we are going to look at the chatbot workflow so we know how to build our chatbot effectively and efficiently. Then we see how to build our chatbot by defining intent for our agent. Then finally, we identify entities in our intent. So let's get started. Now, what exactly is Dialogflow? Dialogflow is a platform, for building natural and rich conversational experience. Originally, it was called API.ai until it was now acquired by Google. It makes use of world-class AI assets and capability of Google. And these world-class AI assets were originally designed for things like the Gmail and the Google search. Now, this world-class AI asset also includes natural language processing. And Google's natural language processing capabilities include syntax analysis, which allows you to identify tokens and sentences, tag part of speech, and create a dependency parse tree. So for those of you taking NLP, you're already familiar with these terms I just listed. So I'm going to explain them more as we progress here. Then the entity recognition part simply identify key terms in a user's expressions, like it's capable of identifying the user's name, the location, a city, date, time, and many others. Sentiment analysis is simply identifying what the user's expression is and summarizing them in a simple term. Identifying the positive, negative, or neutral sentiment from the user based on the user's block of text, based on the text the user provides for the agent. The content classification, we leverage on more than 700 categories, to accurately classify our content. We are going to see this as we progress. Then the multi-language support enables you to build your chatbot, for different countries and in different languages, which is pretty awesome, right? Now, how does Dialogflow works? Now, Dialogflow makes use of those capabilities that we just stated, like the syntax analysis, sentiment analysis, entity recognition, coupled with the training phrases that is provided by the developer to generate some unique algorithms, usually classification algorithms, which now generates a fully functional chatbot that is able to relate with a user. So this is basically how Dialogflow works under the hood. Now, it is interesting to note that Dialogflow enables you to build your chatbot faster, engage user more efficiently, and maximize reach. So how does it do that? Now, you can start building your bot by specifying just few intents and training phrases, or you can leverage on over 40 previous agents which ranges from food delivery, hotel reservation, uh, reminders, and many more. Okay, you can use all these pre-built agents out of the box, or you can import it into your existing chatbot or your new chatbot you just created. You engage user more efficiently by leveraging on the world-class natural language understanding which is available on Dialogflow. Also, the analytic tool here enables you to see how your user communicates with your agent. You have to see it enables you to see some of the intents that were frequently used and some that were sparsely used, so you know how to tune your intent and perform better actions. Then you can also integrate your chatbot across various platforms like the Google Assistant, which enables your agent to be available on all Google enabled device. The web demo simply creates an embedded web page for your Dialogflow, which we are going to see soon. You can deploy it on Facebook Messenger, on Slack, on Skype, on Twilio, and so much more. Okay, don't forget that you can also leverage on the multi-language support, which consists of more than 20 languages. Okay, which is pretty awesome to use. So imagine building a bot that is usable in Nigeria and beyond. It's pretty awesome and pretty mind-blowing. Now let's look at the life of a conversation. Like I told you previously, in order to build good conversational experience, you yourself have to be good in conversation. Okay, so this is not magic, this is not programming. Okay, this is normal communication between two persons. Okay, so let's look at it. Now it all starts with what the user says. Okay, when a user says something, your agent should be able to identify the user's intention. Okay, for instance, the user requests for a pizza. Your agent should be able to trigger an order pizza intent. Okay, which is the intention of the user, which is to order a pizza. Now when the order pizza intent is triggered, it triggers an action, okay, which is to place an order for the pizza, and generates a response telling the user that we've placed your order, you can pick it up at so time. Okay, now but not all conversations are this straightforward, not all conversations are this linear. For instance, if your user decides to add additional pizza to what he or she has already ordered, your agent should be able to identify that your user is ordering an additional thing inside the order he or she has previously made, and not requesting for a new order, right? So when the user requests for an additional cheese, okay, the order pizza intent is triggered, and the action now is update order, right, which now generates a response and stored in the database as 2 pizza, right? So this is the life of a conversation. Always starts with the user's intention. Okay, your agent is able to identify what the user is saying and triggers the intent, which now triggers an action to place an order or to update an order. The key thing here is that your agent should be able to identify and follow context, right? Which is very important in every communication, even with person to person. Now let's look at our chatbot workflow. Okay, there are many ways to build a chatbot. Okay, you can start off by building a bot with few intents, okay, few user intents, or you can have multiple intent, which simply enables you to carry out more complex conversation with users. Okay, but the underlying factor here is that whatever agent you are trying to build, it always passes through through three phases of the workflow. The design phase, which is where you determine what you want to build, the develop phase, which is when you start building it, and the deploy phase, which is when you deploy your agents across various platforms. So let's look at the design phase. In the design phase, you have to create your persona. Okay, first you need to identify your business core attributes or brand, right? So your agent should be able to identify and interact with customers based on your business. Okay, meaning your agent should be knowledgeable about your business. It should offer meaningful and helpful service to users. Okay, the second thing you have to take note of in the design phase is you need to identify the functional design principle. What we mean by that is, do you want your agent to make recommendations to user or simply stay and take orders, right? Thirdly, you need to define the personality of your agent. Do you want it to be funny or geeky, right? And finally, you have to use the style guide to make a bio sketch. So what we mean by that is you have a list of some of the things you can say, okay, to make your bot more effective and sound less robotic. Okay, so you can look at this. I'll send you this slide, some of the things you can say. So instead of saying other things that sound robotic, you can say maybe later, okay, and stuff like that. You can also look at it in word by word level. Okay, instead of saying regarding, you can say about, okay, which is cool and less robotic. Now you can also check out the conversation design checklist. So in this place you learn how to better engage users, okay, how to enter and exit a conversation, how to better interact with your user in a more natural way, how to repair a conversation, and how to even fail gracefully, for instance. Now in the develop phase, we are going to use Dialogflow for building our bots, and in the deploy phase, we are going to deploy them across some of those platforms you've seen. Okay, so let's get started. So you simply navigate to your browser and search for dialogflow.com. Okay, you go to dialogflow.com. Okay, cool. Let me pause this so it doesn't take so much time. Okay, once you are on the website, you navigate to go to console and click on it. So, and you have to sign up with your Google account. Okay, so you can use your PAU email to sign up. Okay, let's wait for it. Alright, so it's here. Just click on sign up with Google, and you have a list of available email that you can sign up with, or maybe you just have a box showing you to enter your email, and when you click on next, you enter your password and you successfully be logged in. Okay, just choose PA email. So once you successfully sign up, you will be directed to this page. Okay, so as you can see, I have not created anything yet. So you simply create your agent. Now you've heard me make use of agent over and over again. Agent is simply your chatbot you're trying to create. Okay, agent is simply the chatbot, right? So in this case, we are going to be creating a pizza bot, right? A chatbot which is capable of ordering a pizza for any user. So we simply create agent, click on create agent. Okay, so we specify a name. I'm going to call it pizza bot. You make sure the language is English, except you want to build a bot for Espanol, which is for Spain and stuff. So we leave it at English. We change the time zone to this GMT plus 12 and etc. So this will automatically create a Google project for you on your GCP console, which I'm going to show you later. GCP stands for Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so once you've created your agent, you click on create. So this will create our agent for us. Now, building conversational experience always starts with an intent. Intent in a conversation are simply the root verbs or simply what your user intend to ask. Okay, so we are building a pizza bot. Okay, that's a chat bot to order pizza. What do you think are some of the intentions of the user using this bot? The first one is to order a pizza, right? So before we do that, let me quickly show you some of the default intents that are available on Dialogflow once you've created an agent. So if you create an agent, it comes automatically with two intents: the default fallback intent and the default welcome intent. So let's look at this first. In the default welcome intent, it simply contains phrases on how your agent interacts and welcomes your user, just as the name implies, default welcome intent. So if your user says hi, this default welcome intent will be triggered and a response will be generated. Okay, so in creating an intent, there are two major things you need to take note of. The first is the training phrase. Just like we did in data science, right? In data science and machine learning, we have our data, we split it into two, training and test sets, right? So we use the training set to build our model and the test data to test our model, isn't it? So likewise here, but now we are not hard coding anything, we are leveraging on the machine learning capability from the Dialogflow. Okay, so these are the training phrases, so which contains some of the things user might say while interacting with our agent. For instance, the user can simply say, just going to say hi, or hey, or hello, hi. You can say howdy, you can say hi there, you can say hello, and many things. So these are the training phrases. So coupled with the training phrases, another thing you have to take note of is the response. Response is the way your agent responds to your user's interaction, right? So if a user says hi, for instance, your Dialogflow agent will simply come here and pick any of these and return it as response. So let's try this out. So we'll click on save. To make sure, always click on save to save your agent, else every other thing you're doing is lost, or everything you've done is lost, right? So once you're done training your agents, once you see this agent training complete, we can test our agent here by clicking on the try it now. So for instance, if we say hi, okay, and we execute, okay, Google Cloud Service. Alright, so if you are having this problem, you simply navigate to this bell icon. Okay, click on the gear icon here. Once it opens, then click on this plus button here. Okay, you can see working on Google Cloud. So I'm going to show you all this later on, how to navigate to your Google Cloud platform. So once you've done this, you click on save. Sometimes you might not have this problem, okay, but if you have it, this is what you do. Come here and click on the plus button here. So let's try our agent now by saying hi and see. So you can see once the user says hi, the default fallback intent is triggered, as you can see here. The default welcome intent is triggered, as you can see here, and returns a response. Greetings, how can I assist you? And if you look at this really sounds robotic, right? So we can change this to make sure our agent contains some core attributes of our organization. So let's say we are building this pizza board for Pan Atlantic University Pizza Shop. Okay, so we need to specify the institution, okay, so that users can better understand. And also, aside from listing your core attributes, okay, core business attributes, you need to also specify some of the things the bot can do, so the user has a clear understanding of some of the things your bot can do and what it cannot do, right? So we simply navigate to this response here. We click on this delete button to delete it. Then we add our own response, text response. Okay, so we can say good. We can say good day. Welcome to Pan Atlantic University Pizza Shop. Okay, I am Pizza Bot. And I can help you place orders for pizza. Good stuff. So you can say continue by saying, how can I help you today? So you can specify as many responses as you can, because once you specify many responses, your machine learning algorithm simply select them randomly and return them for any user that interacts with your agent. Okay, so you can specify as many. You should specify as many as possible, as by modifying some of these and stuff. So once you are done with this, you click on save, okay, to have this saved. So intent saved. So we have to retrain our agent. Now also remember, the more training phrases you add, the smarter your bot becomes. So if you feel there are other ways a user can interact with your bot, you can feel free to add more user expressions. So once we are done with this, we can try our bot again. Okay, we can say hello. Okay, so once you say hello, the response is now triggered from the default welcome intent, which is less robotic, right? Okay, so like I said, you can add as many as possible. So let's say, okay, now you can help me make order, right? So I want to say I need a pizza. Okay, once you do this, you can see the response is now sorry. Can you say that again? Okay, now the reason for that is there is nothing like uh, other pizza intent, right? Okay, so for that reason the default fallback intent is triggered. Now the default fallback intent is simply triggered when the agent fail to understand what the user is trying to say. Okay, so it simply triggers the default fallback intent. So let's go back to intents and see some of the response in default fallback intent. Okay, I hope you guys are following this closely. Okay, now let's click on the default fallback intent. You can see this also sounds robotic, so we can delete this and specify a more how do I put it now, a more comforting response. Okay, you can add as many as possible, right? So you can see some of the response. I don't get it, sorry, can you say that again, sorry, and many more. So we can go ahead and delete this. So this is optional. If you don't want to delete it, feel free to leave it, but I don't want my agent to start sounding robotic all the time, so I'll delete it and add my own response. Okay. So what do I even put as response? I can say sorry, sorry, I think I missed what he just said. I think this is sounding robotic kind of, but feel free to modify yours, put a more appealing response. Okay, so this is just for a demo. So sorry, I think I missed what you just said. Okay, would you mind repeating that? Okay, then you also specify please to be more appealing. So once you are done with this, you can add more. Okay, you should always add more, right? Click on save. Okay, so your agent is training. So once it has successfully trained, you can test it again by going to try it now and say I need a pizza. Okay, so run this. So you can see that the intent was not matched, so the default fallback intent was not triggered, saying sorry, I think I missed what you just said, would you mind repeating that please? Okay, so this is how to customize the follow come intents that follows your agent, like the default welcome intent and default fallback intent. I hope you guys understand this, right? So let's go back to intent. Now remember, we are building a pizza ordering chatbot, right? And it is normal for us to have, for our user to order a pizza, isn't it? So it is now key for us to define an intent to order that pizza. So we are going to define an intent with the name order.pizza. Remember, intents are simply what your user might ask for. Okay, So once you click on the intent, here you enter your intent name. So I'm going to specify order dot pizza. Alright, so once you've created the name of the intent, the next thing you have to do is you add your training phrase. What are some of the various ways your user might ask for a pizza, right? So we can click on add training phrases. So your user might say, I want a pizza. Okay, you might say do you have a pizza, and so much more. So we are going to leave this as this now. We are going to add more soon. So but before we add more, I want to show you something else. Okay, now once you're done with this, you click on save. Okay, please. So your intent is saved now. Now, identifying the user's expression, okay, identifying some of the things the user might want to ask is not enough. Okay, you should be able to identify the key nouns in what the user is saying. For instance, if the user says, hi, my name is Charles and I need a slice of pizza, your agent should identify that Charles is a name, right? You should also identify that slice is the size of pizza the user is interested in. If the user says, I need a slice of pizza tomorrow, okay, your agent should be able to identify that tomorrow is a date. Okay, so to make that possible, we make use of what we call entities. Okay, we looked at that last week. Okay, entities are simply the nouns in your conversation. Okay, like the name of a person, a place, time, destination, media, and etc. Okay, so to create entities, you simply click on the entities button here to create new entity. So let's make sure we are keeping to time. Right. So what are some of the key things a user might want or a user might indicate while ordering for a pizza? For instance, the user might indicate the toppings, okay? Whether it's going to be beef, whether it's going to be bacon, whether it's going to be mushroom, whether it's going to be ham, sausage, and many more, okay? Those are some of the key entities you should note so as to pass it to the kitchen to make the pizza ready. Okay, then you should also note the size of the pizza, isn't it? So in creating entities, Dialogflow comes with two separate entities. First, the custom entity which the developer creates by himself, and the system entity which comes with Dialogflow. So the system entity includes date, so you don't have to define an entity for date, for time, for currency, for name, and for location. This is automatically done for you. Okay, so the custom entity is what the user creates by itself. So for us to create entity, we are going to create two major entities. The first is pizza topping and the size of pizza. So we simply go to create entity and start creating our entity. So I'm going to call the entity pizza topping. Okay, pizza topping. Now you have various parameters here, but for all these parameters we're just going to use this These synonyms, okay, are simply the various ways a user might indicate a key term. Okay, for instance, um, if the user says I need a vegetarian pizza, for instance, or I need a veggie pizza, your agent should identify that vegetarian and veggie are synonyms. Okay, so we have regular expression entity, which we are not going to this is programmatic, and we're not going to consider it. We have allow automated expansion. Okay, once you click on this box, it simply enables your agent to extract more entities from a user's expression. For instance, if the user makes an order, okay, and the entity is not in some of all these listed entities, your Dialogflow agent simply extracts those entities and adds them here. So that could be a problem in the long run, so we're going to leave it like this. So what we simply do is we specify some synonyms for pizza ordering entity. So we can specify cheese, okay, as one of the topping. Is there any synonym for cheese? I don't think so. So we can specify beef. We can specify vegetarian. Okay, and the synonym for vegetarian is veggie. Okay, we can specify ham. So I'm going to pause this video and specify as many as possible. Now some of these entities that I've listed here are indicated in your slide, so you can go through them, or you can also search on Google to get as many toppings as possible. Remember, the more training phrase you supply your agent, the smarter it becomes. So I'm going to pause this and add as many synonyms as possible. Alright, so I've created a couple of synonyms. Okay, so a couple of entities. You can go ahead and add more, and once you are done, you click on save to save your entities. Okay. So once your agent is completely trained, we can create another entity for the size, okay, for our pizza size. So you click on create entity. So we are going to call our entity size. Okay, so and let's say we just need two sides for our pizza, which is a slice and a pie, right? Pie, that's a full pie. So if there are more, please, you feel free to add them. So once you're done with this, you click on save to begin training your agent. So once your agent is completely trained, we have to go back to our intent, okay, to identify some of those entities. So you click on the order pizza intent. So we are going to see some of all these as we progress. Now Dialogflow is pretty awesome because you can also create an agent using your mobile phone. What you simply need to do is to log into Dialogflow on your mobile phone, sign in using your email, and you can start creating your agent. Okay, so you don't necessarily need a laptop to create a conversational experience using Dialogflow. So now we can proceed to adding more training phrases in our other pizza. So what are some other ways a user can ask for a pizza? Remember, I told you your training phrases can be generic or specific. For instance, if you say I want a pizza, you are simply being generic, okay? But if you say I want a beef and chicken pizza, you are being specific, right? So you are specifying some of the toppings you want in your pizza. So sorry, okay, doesn't really matter. So you can add more, like get me a ham pizza. You can say get me a ham pizza. Okay, now we can identify the entities in this user's expression by double clicking on them. Once you double click on this, you have a list of entities. So we can go ahead and filter our pizza topping. Okay, so we also have chicken as our topping. So this is added for us. The chicken isn't a system. Okay, so let's do that again. So have it as this pizza topping. We also have ham as our pizza topping, so you can double click to index it. Okay, unable to add chicken as system entity. Okay, so ham, nope. So double click. Give me a moment. Okay, so we can add more training phrases. So I'm going to say I want, for instance, I want I want a slice of pizza. Okay, so we'll run this. So give me a moment. Okay, so we can add multiple training phrases. I can also say can I have a slice of pizza, please? Okay, can run this. We can also say I want a pixel. Okay, full power. Okay, sometimes after creating your entities, right, and you are defining, you are adding training phrases to your intent, sometimes the entities are tagged for you automatically, but if they are not, you can simply double click on the entity and tag them yourself. Okay, so this is size, the slice is also size. So okay, so you can add more. Okay, like is it possible to get a pizza now? Okay, now the now here should indicate something, right? Now simply is a time frame, right? So we can make use of, since we cannot define an intent for something like this, we leverage on the system entities that are available on Dialogflow. So we can simply double click and select on time and filter out time. Okay, so you can see system.time. So we put it. Then we can also say I need one pizza, right? Or you can say I need one slice of pizza, for instance. The one there should stand for something, right? It should stand for a number, isn't it? So this is taking time, so I'm going to pause. Okay, I need one pizza. Your agent should be able to understand that this one stands for a number. So we also make use of the system entities that is available on Dialogflow. So search for number. So this is it, and tag it appropriately. What happened? Number. This is it. Okay, so this has been categorized as number. So you can add as many as you can, right? And please note, if you've created your custom entities and you specify them on the training phrase, if they are not automatically colored or assigned to the entities, you can double click to do that. New value add. No, I don't want pizza. Cancel. Alright, so let's go down. You can see that some of this is a place, a section for action and parameters. Like I told you, a user specifies a request, makes a request, right, which now triggers an intent. The intent now triggers an action, which is what the agent should do after the user makes a request, before giving the user a response. So I believe you still remember the workflow that we looked at, right? So it's important for us to see it. So the users makes a request, which triggers an intent, then the action and response. So let's look at the action column section. So in this section, we have the list of the entities that we've used. So in these entities, you can make some of them required if possible. Okay, then you do what we call slot filling. So I'm going to explain what that means in a minute. So what are some of the things we want to be required? We can say, let's make pizza topping required. Okay, then we define a prompt. So when a user says something, okay, when a user makes an order for a pizza, the prompt will show requesting for the topping the user wants. So we can define the prompt by clicking on that and entering. You can say great. Okay, what toppings would you, what toppings, I don't know why this system is slow. What toppings, seems I have many things running in the background. Toppings would you want in your pizza? Okay, so we can, once you've done this, we can close it. Okay, click on close and you see it. Great, what topping would you like? Then we can also make the size required for the user to specify the size of pizza they would like. Okay, you can say what size, okay, or we can simply say would you like a slice or the full pie? Okay, so when you're done with this, you close. Oh, sorry, I didn't click enter. Would you like a slice or the full pie? So when you're done with this, click enter. Then you can close. What is happening? Give me a moment. I'm having some challenges. Okay, we're running out of time. So I've specified the prompt. So when you write anything, you click on enter for it to save. Then you click on close, right? So make sure these two boxes are checked. I will explain them later on. So finally, we specify a response. Okay, so we've made the order. Okay, so now we have to specify the response, right? So we can say great choice, great choice. Okay, so now for your practice, you can make some of these required, and you can also specify more entities, right? So you can say great choice, your order of full, okay, your order of pizza. So we specify the pizza toppings of chicken pizza, for instance. So we use the $sign to call the entities, right? This is becoming too slow, embarrassingly slow. Order of, give me a moment, let me get back. Okay, it's working now. So simply say, great choice, your order of $ pizza, comma, you can also specify the $ for the size, have been placed, enjoy. So once we are done with this, okay, we can modify this. Now feel free, this is a response, so feel free to make it more humanly interactive. Okay, they are pretty easy. You are going to see other options on your slides as well. So once you're done with this, you click on save. Please don't ever forget to save, because if you fail to save, everything you might have done would be useless. Okay, you lose everything. So you click on save and see save. Now we have finished training our agent. Let's test it now. Okay, so simply go to try it now, and we can say hi and see what we'll get. Okay, so we have sorry for the delay. So we can see the default welcome intent is triggered. If you go ahead to say I need a pizza, I need a pizza, just a moment, sorry for that delay. So if you say I need a pizza and you run it, let's see what we'll get. Okay, you see, so once you say I need a pizza, he identifies the order pizza intent. Okay, then you see great, what topping would you like in your pizza? So you can see the entity topping has been triggered. So we simply say beef. We can just make a simple conversation, natural conversation. You can say beef would be great. So you can see the would be great. So when you say beef would be great, let's see what we get. Now your agent is able to identify the beef even with the rest things you added, right? Which is cool. So from here you can see the topping is identified as beef. This is going to help in storing your data in the database. So it's now requesting for the size which you want to add now. So it's now asking, would you like a slice or a full pie? So we can say I want a slice. Okay, so when you say I want a slice, let's see what we get. So you can see, great choice, your order of beef slice has been placed, enjoy. So you can see how we are able to build a very interactive conversational experience. Next week we are going to make it a little bit interactive. So let's see how much time we have left. So we don't have so much time, so but I really want you to practice. So for that reason, I'm going to show you how to quickly integrate this to a web demo. So when you do your assignments, you simply integrate it to a web demo and send me the link to the web demo so I can see what you've done. Okay, so you simply click on integration. Okay, so once you click on integration, you are going to see the list of available platforms you can integrate your agent. So we are going to use web demo for now. So you toggle this and click on web demo, this. So click on this, then this is the link you are going to send to me, okay, so that I will see what you've created. So once you click on this link, it will open a new embedded web page for you containing your agent. Okay, so let's pause and wait for it to load. Alright, so we can see the bot we've created. Okay, so this is the web demo. You are going to send me this link to my email so I can see what you've created. So you can start by asking your bot anything by simply saying hi. So you can say hi and it's loading. It gives you a good day, welcome to Pan Atlantic. You can order a pizza. I need a pizza, and so much more. Okay, so it replies you pretty fast and pretty simple, and this is the name. So you can see we've made a lot of progress this week. In next week's lecture, we are going to make our chatbot more smarter by looking at context. Okay, then we look at how to integrate in other various platforms like the Google Assistant, how to integrate voice into chatbot, and so much more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's lecture as much as I did. So please stay safe and I'll see you next week. Until then, enjoy conversational AI. If you have questions, please let me know. You know how to reach me and I will reply you at the earliest. So have a nice day and enjoy conversational AI. Bye.